Okay, so other than the pH effect, the amount of absorption, polymer absorption, would also influence rheology or viscosity. Here we're still using the example of silicon dioxide, but IEP of 3 to 4, and I'm showing a plot of viscosity versus strain rate, and then I have different amount of absorbed PVA over ceramic particles. And then I labeled the pH for two conditions. Okay. And when we say at pH equals 7, this guy. Remember, IEP is 3 to 4, pH 7, which means I have a lot of negative charge surrounding the particles. I should have reachable electrostatic stabilization. The particles are stable. I have a stable suspension. It's showing what behavior? Newtonian behavior. The viscosity doesn't really change with strain rate, showing strain rate. On the other hand, when all these other curves are for pH equals 3.7, all these other curves are for pH 3.7, which means I have very little charge on the surface. And if I have no PVA, no polymer, PVA is a polymer, okay? When I have low PVA, I'm showing a so-called shear thinning behavior, right? The higher the strain rate, the lower the viscosity, but it's higher viscosity because of the so-called agglomeration effect. And then when I have higher, remember this is for amount absorbed what? Absorbed PVA over your particles. As we increase the amount absorbed, our viscosity actually becomes even higher. We do not yet have the so-called steric stabilization. Okay, we do not yet have the steric stabilization. We actually have the so-called bridging flocculation. We said about bridging flocculation. When the polymer coverage on the particles is low, a little bit polymer, when they get close to each other, the polymer starts to, I use a word so-called entangle, hook up to each other. That's what gives the higher viscosity. But it shows the shear thinning behavior. Okay? No dispersant show plastic shear thinning behavior due to agglomeration. A little bit, it's called in the so-called bridging. A little bit of polymer, they start to entangle each other, bridging. On the other hand, what people observed is from 0.19, if you continue to increase this PVA, coverage on silicon dioxide. Now, what we find is the viscosity at the same shearing strain rate starts to decrease from 0.19 to higher 0.56, higher PVA coverage on the particle surface. My viscosity actually decreased. This is so-called a steric stabilization. When I have a higher polymer coverage on the particles, when I have polymer covers pretty much everything, then when two particles come together, when they get too close, you have to compress. You have to force the polymer to pack dense, which the polymer do not like. When you try to force the polymer to pack dense, lined up like this, the polymers don't really want it. That's what gives it the so-called steric stabilization. The viscosity drops again. It's behaving more like a Newtonian fluid to achieve so-called monolayer coverage. And here we kind of monolayer coverage. Particles all surface covered. And then we have steric, which is the so-called entropy or elastic repulsion. The polymers don't want to be compressed, dense, packed in ordered fashion closely together. That's what giving it the repulsion or stabilization. Okay, so you see, based on this, we have at least two knobs to turn. One is by adding acid, base, adjusting pH. The other one, we can add some polymers, like for this PVA, if we are using water as our solvent. Okay? Since we talk about polymer, there will be molecular weight, because polymer is never a single molecular weight. Different batches have different molecular weight, and people use different molecular weight for different purposes. So I'm going to show the effect of molecular weight on rheology or on viscosity. I'm plotting viscosity versus shearing strain rate, still for this silicon dioxide with IEP of 3 to 4. Okay, here pH is 3.7, which means I have very little help from so-called electrostatic stabilization. No charge, zero zeta potential. And then with certain amount of polymer added, what people observed is as the polymer molecular weight increases, the suspension behave more and more like Newtonian behavior. At pH 7, very little charge, particle tends to agglomerate. But then, with increasing PVA molecular weight, particles better dispersed, behave more like a Newtonian fluid. But on the other hand, like anything in material, you don't want to overdo it. This plot shows, okay, from 20,000, you keep increasing. You increase the molecular weight by another 10 times. You overdo it, and what happens? The viscosity increase again. It starts to show that shear thinning behavior again. Okay. Increase to too high. Viscosity increase again and display shear thinning. You may not be able to remember all this, but the principle, okay, these are the knobs roughly I can turn. But for like anything, any of these knobs, for most of your optimal processing, you don't want to turn it all the way to one end or all the way to the other end. Make sense? Any material processing, there will be compromise. Okay, let's continue a little bit. Another knob. What is this knob? Solvent. Okay, pH, polymer concentration, polymer loading or concentration, polymer molecular weight, and then solvent. Okay, different solvent will impact. We are talking about aluminum oxide and in solvent with PVB dispersion. PVB is a non-polar polymer. Okay, so that's why we use organic solvent. And we are showing relative viscosity versus shear rate. Relative viscosity versus shear rate. Here we are using methanol. Methanol. It's a organic solvent, but it's pretty polar. Less polar than water, but pretty polar methanol. Okay, so in this case, the PVB is a non-polar solvent in a more polar organic solvent. Essentially, this methanol is so-called a poor solvent for PVB. The methanol, this more polar organic solvent, does not really like this non-polar polymer. As a result, even though I put the polymer in here, the polymer doesn't provide much so-called steric stabilization. It still provides some. As you see, as I increase the polymer loading, the viscosity drops somewhat, but it still shows Newtonian behavior, higher strain rate, lower viscosity. Okay, when using methanol and solvent, which really kind of low solvent quality, and the alumina selectively covered not so much by polymer, but more about solvent, leading to poor dispersion and high viscosity or Newtonian behavior, even up to high polymer loading. On the other hand, we change the solvent. Similar what? Loading, similar ceramic loading, 30 volume percent aluminum oxide, but we change the solvent from pure methanol to a methanol MIBK mixed solvent. We're adding into the solvent a lot of nonpolar solvent, which means the solvent now is much more compatible with my nonpolar polymer. As a result, what people observed is, okay, if I'm using this so-called better quality solvent, now the suspension behaves more like a Newtonian fluid, which means the particles are dispersed very well. They do not really entangle much together, and essentially I'm marrying the viscosity behavior, rheology behavior of this two solvent mixture, which is Newtonian, low viscosity Newtonian. Okay. So this is again another knob that you can turn: solvent, polymer type, polymer loading. Okay. Polymer molecular weight, pH, if you're using water. This is what we said. If we are using this methanol MIBK mixed solvent, which has more of the nonpolar component, now the polymer really likes the solvent. Polymer, if it likes the solvent, the polymer stretch out more, reaching out more, and then the particles can be separated at larger distance. They don't really agglomerate, and I have Newtonian behavior, low viscosity.